Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. All right, it is that time of year. I think tomorrow is the anniversary of last year's bull run. Now, the chances of tomorrow a bull run taking off on the exact same day from last year is not very good, but it is that time of year, and history as a guide, this time of year has traditionally been kind to cryptocurrencies. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, that's just bull. And it's easy to get for your mind to go to that kind of a place when it all feels hopeless and negative out there because we've been in a bear market for so long. But I've been through several of these, and I can tell you one thing for sure. Right about the time that you can't even stomach looking at it anymore is when these prices go to places that you couldn't have even imagined. That's all I can tell you for sure. I know there has not been a blast off in any of the bull runs in crypto without first feeling what you've had to feel for the last 11 or 12 months, however long it's been. And so, welcome to the party. That's what it's like with a new asset class. That's what it's like. And in an article I'll read to you here at the end, a guy was quoted as saying, revolutions don't happen overnight. And that's just the way it is. And you're going to have, until the market matures, there's going to be a lot of manipulation. There's going to be a lot of that kind of thing. And that's why I always tell you to put your cinnamon in your coffee and your big boy pants on and man up and don't be whining about it. Just understand that investing is a big boy game, big girl game. It's not. This isn't for sissies, okay? So you got to be tough, and you've got to study what you're investing in, do your research. You can listen to my channel, listen to several channels, and take all of the good things you get out of those channels that make sense and make sense in your gut and your common sense and intellectually make sense, and then go read for yourself. Don't take my word for it or anybody else's word for it. Go read the articles and the things we point to, and you go read the articles of the things billionaires are saying and the things that the Yale endowment is saying about their investment and the things that people that are much smarter than I are saying. And what will happen is it'll lead you to a place where when you do turn it off and don't want to look at it for a while, that's okay, and you'll be able to calmly sit back and know that this is just the way things work. This is the way the world works in cycles. Well, we're in the bottom of a cycle right now. So anyway, I wanted to start by showing you this about Coinbase. Coinbase, everybody's like anti-Coinbase these days. And Coinbase has kind of earned a lot of that heat. Over the course of time, they've probably had more demand from customers asking them why they don't list XRP than there's no question there's been more. And so now, all of a sudden, and in my opinion, I've told you this before, I think Coinbase's shift, if they cared about what their customer, or if I'll say that differently, if the guys that started Coinbase really cared about what customers said instead of what their philosophical differences were between Bitcoin and XRP, they would have listed XRP a long time ago. If it's customers you were listening to all along, it would have been listed a year ago or more. But that's not what's been going on. Now, that is what's going on now. And I believe that's because, and this same thing, I talk to you about .com all the time. This same thing happened during the .com period. When the venture capitalists invested in the .com startups, once those venture capitalists have their money on the line, they're more or less the ones that are hiring and firing who's going to be the CEO. So there were many founders of those .com companies back during that time who the actual founders would be escorted out the door, because just because you founded a company did not mean that you were an effective chief executive officer of a company. And so many of those venture capital firms got rid of them. Well, I think that's what you're seeing here. I think you're seeing more responsible people get involved. And just because Brian Armstrong may have been a founder with, I can't remember if it was him and somebody else, just because he's a founder does not mean that he has the right temperament and the right skill set to be a CEO in the long haul of Coinbase. And I'm not saying he's not going to be, but I'm just saying that that's just the way the world works. Once people have money on the line, once venture capital firms and people like that have big money on the line, they're the ones pulling the strings. And so this right here, in my opinion, is in reaction to that. Our recent shift in strategy is really driven by customers. When we asked customers the number one thing they want, they told us it's adding new cryptocurrencies to the platform. Well, duh, as my kids would say. Well, here's something that Coinbase is doing right. They launched this December 10th to the 21st, the 12 days of Coinbase. Now listen, I'm not saying it will, but if anything can spur, if there's any one thing in digital assets in history that I have seen that can cause a bull run or be the spark that ignites a bull run, it's Coinbase listing something, and it could be XRP, it could be some other coin that sparks it. But XRP, even though many of us that hold XRP were kind of like, oh, Coinbase is irrelevant, well, that still doesn't mean that psychologically that couldn't be something that sparks a run across the board, because that would be really big. It would be big. I'll tell you one way that it would be big. Many people only trust Coinbase in terms of having their digital assets there. And I believe Coinbase has types of insurance. And I believe in the United States, as I've said before, Coinbase, it's a lot easier to liquidate things out of Coinbase, and it would be a lot more convenient to go straight from XRP to US dollars for some of the people over here than it would to XRP to BTC and do all of that. And so this 12 days of Christmas, each day at noon Pacific time, these guys, they did this was about WeGift on December 10th, and then today they just said that they donated Zcash to help support 50 Venezuelan families. But each day they're going to make an announcement, and it says that they'll announce new features, support for new cryptocurrencies, and more. So remember the crypto currencies. They came out with a list of the potential cryptocurrencies that they're going to add in the coming future, soon to list. And in the past, they've announced that they were considering 5 cryptocurrencies, and they added 3 or 4. And so there's a good chance you can see many of those cryptocurrencies added. XRP was on the list. I believe Stellar was on the list. Tron was not on the list. I'll bring that list up next time I do a video. I just don't have it pulled up right now. So anyway, this is exciting because this is big. It's also big. Let's say Coinbase only has about 5 or 6 digital assets, and they have had only like three or so for a long time. This right here would be a major shift in the industry if Coinbase all of a sudden housed 20 assets, because that puts them more like a Binance all of a sudden, just overnight. And so that will be a big industry shift, and that is the kind of thing that could cause a shift in this market cycle. Moving along, I want to C3 is like so on point these days that I keep showing his tweets. Remember, those of you that watched my prior video today will have seen that eToro, I thought they were doing it just to get the attention, and boy did they get the attention of the XRP community. But anyway, C3 Nick, they had done an advertisement basically where they were showing how you can diversify, and they used XRP. They singled out XRP out of all the digital assets to try to point, oh, see, look, XRP's done so horrible this year. You could diversify into MasterCard and Visa, and of all things. It was really kind of a bizarre marketing ploy, but I still think kind of in my gut that these guys were going by the old saying about how no advertising is bad advertising. And I think they knew they would catch all that heat, and I think they got more attention because of it. And then I also think that they probably knew they were going to pull the ad, but they still got all that attention. And so that's one way of getting a lot of bang for your buck in advertising, if you think about it. But C3 Nick called them out, which I thought was hilarious. I would like to ask eToro for an official comment as to why your chief analyst, Matty Greenspan, supposedly told clients in a webinar to diversify while you told the masses on Twitter maybe you can catch the train. And what he does is this is a tweet that he's talking about from back during the bull market last year, December 29, 2017. eToro says XRP 500% in 17 days for real. If you're reading this, you're probably already on board. If you're reading this, maybe you can still catch the train. Here's a 2-minute video explaining what's so unique about this cryptocurrency. So I would say and then he tweets that eToro took down the video. I would tell eToro next time you want to pick a fight with a digital asset community, XRP is not the one, because there are a lot of smart people in this space and they have a lot of facts on their side. And so if you want to call out XRP, you better do it and know what you're talking about, because people like C3 Nick are there. They're just waiting for an opportunity to call someone like that out. He's a pretty sharp cookie, and no pun intended, he uses cookies all the time in his feed. XRP Research Center put this out. I saw the article, but I like the way he broke it down. Sometimes it's easier for me just to read a lot of these guys are really good at summarizing what an article's about. This is about Currencies Direct. Breaking Currencies Direct is to open cross-border remittance corridor into India, switching on Ripple's X Current. And their quote is, people always want to have visibility of their money, and we see X Current as a game changer for payments. Currency, but then he takes it further, and he shows you from May 29th when they had completed their X Rapid pilot, which is very interesting. Currencies Direct has successfully completed an international payment over Ripple's X Rapid platform using XRP. Our trial with XRP was a resounding success. We're currently assessing our next steps. So they're going live with X Current, and now let's look. This is from Ripple's website, and this is from yesterday. Coin One Transfer offers South Korea's first blockchain-powered remittance service. And this is Coin One, and they are also using X Current for this remittance service. And this is out of South Korea. So I want to take you back, and I want to show you. This is from EDADOUN. I follow him. I don't know that he's a Ripple guy or not. Yeah, I guess he is. He says, my outlet for crypto interest, XRP focused. So go follow him. I've seen his name around a good bit. Some of the he pointed out a while back, these are some of the documents that were being shared at SFF 2018. It was some conference. And he got a hold of some of these documents. And I want to draw your attention to this. Now, that's two companies in a day, more or less, that have just announced that they're going on to X Current. Okay, well, this conference was about how they've just launched X Current 4.0, and what you need to all remember, and what was interesting from that tweet that I pointed out a few minutes ago by the XRP researcher, where he said that. He flashed back to May 29th, where he said that they had tested X Rapid and they were pleased with their test. Well, so now they're going live with X Current. Nothing happens overnight. Well, look how easy it is for them now with this. If you look at this sheet on number 2, let's see, deploy, new user interface, deploy, configure, administer and test X current through a simple user interface. Then number 6 says increase product interoperability. Seamlessly access X Rapid for digital asset payments. So that's where we're going, folks. I mean, this is all happening, right? Slowly but surely, and sooner or later. Okay, lastly, I want to finish it up. Revolutions don't happen overnight. Why Mike Novogratz isn't giving up on Bitcoin. And again, he used Bitcoin as the crypto overall. I mean, that's kind of what he does usually when he's talking. And basically, he's doing all these interviews, and they're all like, oh, it's gone down this much, and this is what they do every time. Well, I like what he said here at the end. He said some of the smartest people invest in crypto. Over the summer, the industry scored major street cred after multi-billion-dollar university endowments, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, announced they had invested in crypto. The move was viewed as an unmistakable signal of institutional confidence in crypto as an investment. Since institutions tend to copy each other, analysts say the move will trigger a chain reaction among other big-name institutional investors, such as pension funds. The fact, and this is a quote from Novogratz, the fact that David Swenson, Yale's chief investment officer, put an investment in Bitcoin with his reputation on the line, his endowment on the line, tells you something. Some of the smartest people in the investing world think it's a store of value. And again, it's not just Bitcoin. They invested in a fund. Now, I don't remember which fund that was. I think it was the Paradigm Fund. But they're not going to sink it all into one thing. They're going to diversify within crypto. I'm just telling you what I mean, that's obvious. He's not going to put all his eggs in that one Bitcoin basket. They're going to diversify just like many other people will. And so what's important for you to get out of this, though, is these smart people that are responsible to very powerful, wealthy individuals, they're not, I mean, Yale alone, I mean, we're talking about ex-presidents that went to school there. I mean, we're talking about Goldman, probably half of Goldman Sachs went to Yale or Harvard. And so that's the caliber of alumni these guys are answering to. So anyway, I am the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that they can get a LedgerNet Nano S right now for 30% off. Thanks for listening.